Hello, I'm Cooler X2X, and I have a problem. Problem being serious mental issues because apparently I'm back here for some godforsaken reason. Guess Pride. Going to suffer through this bullshit for Pride. God, I hate this. Sunk cost fallacy can't stop now. Off screen, I found up 800 shards, 20 more shard bundles. I did a side quest to get a plasmium gland, which gets me the plasmium file with unlimited plasmium as long as I have shards. I switched the Wanderer after watching an online guide. Recommend how to beat this fight. Not quite sure these ones, but the upper ones are essentially what it suggested. Well, I'm not sure about Long Claw, but I need it. Wanderers because it hits really fast. And what's it called? Hits really fast. Which means you can hit multiple times and get more silk quicker in comparison to a Reaper, which helps. First attempt's gonna be from the beginning. It's also probably gonna be horrible because it's a totally new setup. After that, I am switching to phase 3. Only showing up at phase 3. Also, I'm only going to attempt this for 2 hours. Oh, not really working out. Okay, just walked into her. Good job. Oh, it was going okay. See you at... Now, I'll still do a phase 1 because I feel that wasn't a great showcase. Turns out when it's a new recording day, you forget a lot of patterns. Oh well, as I was saying, I'm only attempting for 2 hours because after that... I'm gonna risk not recording my other series if I don't. I'm falling behind in that, so that is what it is. Well played. Ah, I dashed there. Okay, normally you don't go that far. Well played. Ooh. I attack her from that direction to dodge the counterattack, and she comes there anyway. What? Ah, the short range really messes me up from time to time. I was looking to rush her, attack her once, jump up and go heal. But that didn't work out. And that's why I need Long Claw for this fight with Wanderers, because otherwise... Nope. Also, I can actually dash attack, unlike Reaper, which is helpful. Wait, what? Did she just do 2 dashes and teleport? But she always does 3 and then either aerial tentacles or aerial that or third tentacle. Phase 2. If you're asking what that big clink sound is, I think sometimes when they guard with this ability, you get some kind of special guard desync. Phase 3. Come at me. Okay, I thought those were like the other ones. Well played. Fuck. Well played. Well, that's on me. Ooh. Really? Good attempt. I'll take it. Giga super duper mega jump! Uh-oh. Ooh. Is that an empty vessel or the empty vessel? Probably D. expected a bit more at the end, but okay. Maybe it's after credits. Anyway, all my homies hate Silksong. Fuck Silksong. I hate Silksong. Okay, I don't hate Silksong. I didn't enjoy Silksong a lot. I love the exploration, although some of the stuff like the benches and the being trapped sometimes and the fight rooms weren't something I enjoyed. Boss design was okay. It was, I mean, objectively speaking, beautiful bosses with amazing patterns. But Jesus fucking Christ, was it overtuned on some bosses? And I heard it was worse on launch. Trobio, Mafia Trobiani, Trobio! Jesus fucking Christ, was overtuned in some parts. Jesus fucking Christ. I am not someone who generally likes the whole beat something really tough and then the sense of accomplishment at doing so is your reward thing. I like number go up. I like, even if number go up is just something like a match shot, I like that. Occasionally it's okay also if it's like a progression thing. Command is loaded in the original game. But Jesus fucking Christ, does every fucking boss in this game feel like, yeah, progression is where you get more powerful, bosses is where you just do to progress the game. Which isn't something I particularly like, because it makes me dread pretty much every boss and not like beating them. To the darkness and dangers you preserve, thank you for exploring the world of Hollow Knight Silksong. Let's meet again on the road ahead. If this means DLC, I don't think I'm touching that. The DLC for Hollow Knight was so much harder than the original, but still manageable. If Silksong is anything to go by, I won't be able to beat shit in Silksong DLC, so fuck that. Now, I fully acknowledge part of everything that's an issue with this game is due to me. Skill issue, get good and stuff like that. You know how it is. But also, I know, I feel like I've played enough Metroidvanias and I've beaten original Hollow Knight. Feel that like that should be the minimum flaw, at the very least, for if you've beaten original Hollow Knight, if you've played enough on the Metroidvanias, you should be able to beat Silksong, which, to be fair, I did. But Jesus fucking Christ, does it have to be so painful? I'm not usually one to advocate for easier game modes and stuff like that. Well, no. I do advocate for that because not everyone's really into hard bosses, and if it's a game with a good story, what's the harm in letting people have an easy time to the fight stuff so they can experience a good story? Yes, technically that isn't Silksong. I like the story, but it's mostly world building that's the story in Silksong. But still, to, you know, see, you have to get through the very difficult, hazardous journey. And hey, you can very much say the land of Falloom is an incredibly dangerous place, so for, what's it called, immersion's sake, it being so dangerous and it being so difficult, so you can feel the danger. But man, fuck. Honestly, I was planning to play Nine Souls as my next Metroidvania. I also heard it's pretty difficult, and now I am very, very much having other thoughts. Because if I'm gonna have another Silksong experience, fuck that. Because at the end of the day, while I have enjoyed a lot of parts of Silksong, I don't think I've enjoyed Silksong as a whole. My whole experience with the Silksong is more frustration and annoyance than enjoyment, which I'm not happy about, as I really wanted to enjoy Silksong. Partially, again, it's on me, because I know what kind of person I am. I should have known probably by freaking the Guardian at the end of Act 1 that if this is only getting worse after this, that I'm probably going to end up like this, but also apparently a stubborn asshole. Prideful asshole who cannot stop after he started, at least not if he's already recorded it. No, I think if I hadn't been recording, I would have stopped there. But at that point, it was sunk cost fallacy episode-wise. Didn't want to have, I know, was it 12, 13 episodes of recording things? And then just not uploading and finding something else to emergency record. I mean, I do give myself a bit of a buffer, but still. Let me just see if anything else happens if I press. 92%. Hooray. 40 hours. It felt like more. No, it's just title screen. Alright, let me just waffle on a bit more with a bit of a louder music in the back. What would I have liked to see in Silksong that I didn't see? Area design's great. I love that there's a lot of areas and how they look. Not a big fan at everything costing a ton of money, especially early on. Well, later on it's not as big of an issue, but at that point you've got all the benches and stuff like that. The feeling of being nickel and dime for even healing spots and slave points wasn't very pleasant. Maybe the game would have done well to divorce healing spots from save spots. Instead of benches to heal at, you could have spots to only save at. Or have benches and something to save separately. And you can pay for the heal spots. I'm not even sure if that's perfect, because then when you die, what? You come back at half HP? Yeah, that probably wouldn't have worked either. Still not a fan of having to pay for saving and healing. That's at the very least something I feel in my bones. Boss design was mostly alright. There are definitely some that I think are overtuned still. Especially with fight rooms before them and or rooms you have to get through to get to them. Maybe if, I know, there was more fast silk recovery before each fight. So you can always heal before then, but that's kind of your cocoon. But kind of not. What else? Yeah, the cocoons being in the room you died in with the bosses always. Meaning that you kind of have to just keep hammering yourself at a boss if you went into a boss with a lot of money is incredibly painful. Especially so when you got a lot of money and you don't even get to the boss because you're playing like an idiot because you're frustrated and losing to the boss a lot of times and you die on the way to the boss. Experience, it hurts. I might totally be misremembering, and Shades may do the same thing, but I remember Shades were at least dropping outside the boss room pretty much always. But again, could be misremembering. And to be fair, Hollow Knight has a way less convenient way to get your Shade back than the Silk Eaters. But also the Silk Eaters kind of only appear at the end of Act 1 if you go to a specific technically side area. You could very much go without it until well into Act 2, which would also suck a lot. And some of my biggest frustration with the game are the early game. Well, for boss design, it's all over the place, but for exploration, difficulty, fight rooms, stuff like that, definitely the early game. So that would be very nice in that section. Heck, even, I don't know, how those rosary pals everywhere in the world, even if just when you died you dropped one rosary pal and one silk cocoon, and cocoon is your HP and the rosary pal is your, what's it, rosaries, and the rosary pal would stick even if you know, stick around even if you die again. Maybe that would be okay. Maybe if you keep dying, those thief dudes show up to take it, unless it's a boss fight, in which case, good. You do not want to have, what's it called, extra mobs in a boss fight anyway, or you don't want salt in your wound if you're failing against a boss a lot. And my god, shards, Jesus Christ. I got a lot for the final fight, so I guess... No, I ran out with attempts anyway, which ended the last episode because I just said fuck it, can't anymore. Jesus, I am not a fan of shards being separate from money and being what uses your, what's it called, what causes you to repair weapons. It's cool that, you know, my brain just emptied the name of the protagonist. Wow. It's still not there. I know who she is. Lace is only coming up and that's not correct. How did this happen? Did I finish the game and the brain's just like, no, delete everything you can. Repress. Repress. Hornet. Yes, I was thinking until now. It's cool that Hornet makes her own weapons, but fuck. Also, spells were fucking useless. Maybe I've never really figured them out, or the right build with them, but Jesus Christ. The only good spells to me were the AoE ones, and sometimes when grinding. Almost never came up in boss fights. Kinda take too long, don't really give you invincibility. And if you get hit while doing them, you just get hit out. So AoE, if you're too close and try to use it, you just get hit. Could again be an issue with my timing skills, which to be fair is skill issue, but feels like, I know, they might be better if they cost less. They might be better if the way they were handled was different. Or at least if one of the crests handled them different. I would love if, for example, the Snail Shaman crest made spells not cost anything. But what's it called? But you need to, I know, for example, have full silk. And so every time you have to heal, you're out of casting mode, so to say. That would, again, for me at least, end up being a case of, well, I'm not getting to full silk before healing again. So no casting for me. Well, no, you would have enough options with the 3 different spells on that thing that you could get up to there and start casting again with decent situational awareness. I don't know, the spell system just feels whack. I did miss a spell apparently. No idea where, probably some hidden boss I wasn't aware of. But still, doubt that would have been a spell I would have loved. The AoE one around you was the one I used the most. And Rune Smashers seemed cool, but too long of an animation? Too long of an animation. Too random. If it's one or the other, I think it would work. Like, long animation, but always very specific locations to attack. Or short animation, but random, and you can attack while it's also attacking. But I'm not sure why I'm essentially critiquing the game. I'm not qualified, but I guess it's less a critique and more of, well, opinion. If you made it this far, you probably care at least a little bit about my opinion. Or maybe you're waiting to see how I end up feeling on it. In which case, sorry if I disappoint you. I imagine most people that watch to the end probably like Silksong. People who don't like Silksong probably don't go watch people play Silksong. Unless they know that the other person doesn't like Silksong and is gonna tear into it. Yeah. Yeah. Weird feeling to come out liking Silksong less than Hollow Knight, and I don't know if it's even in my top 10 Metroidvanias. Considering how much hype there was for the game, which I wasn't quite participated in, but I was on the periphery. Also weird considering I played Lies of P this year, which is also kind of a difficult game as Souls-like, which did also have really frustrating moments. Jesus Christ, I hate the Brotherhood, but I end up really liking the game. I mean, not enough to play the DLC, but that's more of a me thing. I rarely play those. But I still really like the game. I guess I'm a sucker for stats, and that worked for me. Heck, I played off screen and finished the game again with a different build. Yeah. Have to seriously consider difficult skill games in the future. That was my playthrough of Silksong, I guess. See you all next time when we're not doing a Metroidvania, as usual. Also, Jesus Christ. I think there's like 3 months of Silksong, maybe more in terms of episodes. Which is also crazy. But yeah. See you next time. Bye.